I grew up in the country, listening to all types of music, anything from Hank Jr. to Eminem. But one thing that was jammed in my neck of the woods was Alice in Chains. And the way Lane Staley sang grabbed you and made you listen to what he was saying. It made you actually feel the words. And that inspires me to write about what I feel and not what people just want to hear.
Hey, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. It's Friday, and we're all here. Yay. So, let me say hi to everyone. What's up, everyone? Welcome, members, Patreon, subs, everyone in between. How you guys doing tonight? My amazing, beautiful mods. So, don't forget, I'll answer that in a minute, Mountain. Don't forget that If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any lives. And members, don't forget, community post has the Discord link. Patreons, new Patreons, I have to drop the Discord link if you are a $10 or more Patreon. If not, you get the member link. So, how you guys doing today? I am still full from me and Phoenix went out to eat, and we went to Sage's restaurant, and this place was insane. But it's really good if you eat a lot. If you don't eat a lot, it's not good. You waste a lot of money. But it was good. Phoenix made up for everything that I didn't eat, and it was really good. So, what's up, Joseph? I thought you were leaving. So tonight is a lot of different things that I want to talk about. I wanted to go live early because after Banfield, I'm cutting out because I got to get back to website. I have a shitload of candles to make. So I want to get in my pajamas, throw my hair up, and move on with my night and do candles. So I figure I'll go live early. Well, earlier. And I have 40 minutes till Banfield. So I want to start by saying, I don't care if you like Ryan, if you hate Ryan, if you think he's an asshole. What he has done for Little Payday is mind-blowing. He doesn't owe Little Payday anything. So if you're not Creek Squad, you don't know what I'm talking about. Little Payday is this 14-year-old kid that I met, or a 12-year-old. I don't know. He's young. But I met him from Captain Kurt. And the kid has the personality of a rock star. He really does. He's fun. He's from Alabama. He's funny. He's adorable. He's an all-around good kid that I can see can go the wrong way really, really easily. Doesn't have money. I don't know. I've only seen him with his mom, so I'm assuming single mom. I don't know what's up with his dad. But this kid is just absolutely adorable. And I said that when he's ready, let me know, and I will work with him. And we'll get some, I'll show him, teach him about the music industry. He understands music, but he doesn't know the business side. And the business side is pretty fucking ugly, especially if you're not familiar with it. But I told Kurt, I told him, look, and whenever he's ready, let me know. So, musically, he needs a lot of work. And Ryan, out of nowhere, with everything that's going on in Ryan's life, Ryan buys this kid an entire studio. Ryan doesn't have to. Ryan wasn't obligated to do anything, but out of the kindness of his heart, he literally built this kid an entire studio. Went to Sam Ash, bought him everything he needs. Ryan didn't have to do that. And I know that some people don't like him, but out of nowhere, he just bought this kid an entire studio. That's, especially with everything going on in Ryan's life right now, and it seems to keep getting worse, he does this for this kid. This kid is just a kid. Kurt kind of adopted him as a kind of like another son. Kurt and his wife went out to Alabama to meet him, and this kid was just overly joyed. Like, he just couldn't believe it. And I'm kind of like dumbfounded that Ryan did this for this kid. Like I said, I'm sure there's plenty of kids out there that are trying to make it music, that would love to be a star, and Ryan just went out and bought him everything. That's just awesome to me. It really is. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if you don't like Ryan or you think Ryan's an asshole because of Kylie Rodney stuff. A person shows their true character when they do something like that. Now, I have not found a video where I did find a video where they were together. I found a video where he was on his way there, But I haven't found a video yet of the whole studio. So I don't know if it doesn't exist. I was going to ask Payday for it. But I don't know if anyone knows if there is a video of this. I would love to see it because I haven't been able to find one. Hey, Without Borders, he does have a U-chart. And the fact that he did that, and the fact that he just, with everything that's going on in his life, that he took the time to not only drive to Alabama, which from Tennessee isn't that far, but it's still a couple of hours out of his life. And with the money being stolen and they trashed one of his studios, he takes time out of his day, broke up with his girlfriend, takes time out of his day to a kid that can't really offer him anything. It's not like, Little Payday, by the time Little Payday hones his craft, Ryan will probably be out of the business. So he really did this with nothing, no expectation back. He did this just simply out of the kindness of his heart. And that's a rare find. Most people in Ryan's position, now, is Ryan super famous? No. Is Ryan, Brad Pitt? No. And I don't mean looks wise, but is he Brad Pitt? No. Is he world famous? It depends how you look at it. But in his circle, in Creek Squad, on YouTube, it doesn't matter if he's YouTube famous. It doesn't matter if he is world famous. The fact that this guy, just a musician, took the time of one particular kid who Ryan has to see the same thing I see. This kid's got rock star status all over him, his personality. He just needs to hone in his music. So Ryan did what Ryan felt could be done and buy him all studio equipment and let him start that way. And it was just an amazing thing that he did. I mean, and that's the thing, Tuxie. Payday needs a lot of work musically. But personality wise, the kid's a natural born rock star. I mean, absolutely rock star. And what he did for him is just something that you don't see very often. And, even though people have spoke about it, I haven't seen a lot of people, like, I have a thing for Payday. I just think the kid is absolutely adorable. And I haven't seen too many people really talk about what he's done and the credit that he deserves for what he's done. Because I don't think many people look at it. I mean, maybe they do, but I don't think a lot of people are as dumbfounded as I am over it, in a good way, not in a bad way, in a positive way, because it's just not something you see very often, and it's not something people do very often. Thank you, True Texan. Forget the Ryan haters, is about Payday. Exactly. And just the fact that he did that, and just the fact that he went above and beyond where he didn't have to at all. He doesn't owe this kid anything, and he's not going to get anything from it. He just spent a couple $1,000s because he can. And that's who Ryan is. And I just felt like Ryan needs, accolades for that. I don't know who Daisy is, Joel Southern Train. I have no idea who Daisy is. But I'm sorry, I honestly don't know who Daisy is. So, hold on, let me show you. Ryan's act of kindness from the heart could set a little Payday on the right path. I agree. And between Kurt and Ryan, Payday has a pretty good chance of not going down the wrong path. And I really believe that. Hold on. Oh. Oh, they got rid of Mick Mars. Motley Crue replaced McMars. I'm sorry, it just came up on my Instagram feed. Shit. Oh, here it is. Hold on. I mean, the kid's 12. He's literally 12. And Ryan went all the way there to see him and drop off all this studio stuff.
Today, it's 4 o'clock. It's 4 p.m. Central Time. 4 p.m. Central Time. I don't know where I got 5 p.m. Central Time at, but it's 4 p.m. Central Time. God. Well, excuse my ignorance. Today, it's 4 o'clock. It's 4 p.m. Central Time. 4 p.m. Central Time. My morning voice. Good morning, y'all. Hold up. That's a lot of damn crap. Trevor, I'm definitely gonna need you with this, man. Excuse my morning voice. Good morning, y'all. Hold up. That's a What? I can tell you why these damn haters mad at me. Why, Payday? They mad because I'm chilling in my daggum studio sipping on some stone cold heart attack. Whoa! What? I can tell you why these damn haters mad at me.
He must have got him the soundproof stuff for the walls. I mean, he went all out.
A bottomless pit? Hippopotamus. I was stuck in a bottomless pit.
So now you guys get an idea of who Payday is. But that's little Payday. And Ryan deserves accolades for what he did. He is like a little Ryan mini-me.
Got freaking detained. They need to throw her in jail. Free Greta Thunberg. I'm glad she got freaking detained. They need to throw her in jail. These idiots take the bait every time. Shoot, me and Mike 12 Point, we make it look easy. Yeah, hit them up for the right price. You can put your city on the map. These idiots take the bait every time.
His little mom and me necklace. I mean, the kid is just too cute. Please tell me this young man. Oh, he's very grateful. Very grateful. Little Payday is... Kurt kind of adopted this kid as a... kind of like a son. And he's extremely appreciative. So I want to give Ryan accolades for what he's done to I've seen his mom, like I mod with his mom over on Kurt's channel. I just never really spoke to her.
Man, I swear I've been on TikTok for not even an hour. I already lost brain cells. I already lost Loud ass cars. I already lost brain cells. I ain't even been a daggum hour yet.
I mean, it's like, how do you not just absolutely love this kid? So that's Little Payday. And again, Ryan, you didn't have to, and you went above and beyond. And I think that's absolutely awesome. Why is... Oh, it's the chat. Oh. I was like, why is my face look weird? All right. Now I get it. Okay. Joel, I'm just a little confused. Here's his Instagram. He does have a YouTube channel. He's got a few of them, actually. I know, I lose brain cells too on TikTok. I agree. So, all right. So moving on from that, it seems that Ryan also got his entire studio smashed up, which is heartbreaking. Hold on. Oh.
Do you love getting...
Alright. Like, shit wasn't bad enough. Alright? Like, literally, with this stuff with his mom wasn't bad enough. Then this happens.
Good God, dude. Trash. Everywhere. Trash. Legit trash. Bags of trash. Just, this is crazy, bro. This is my legendary studio that I have wrote some of my best songs in. That's how my family does.
Is that not fucking crazy? This poor guy. It's like one thing after the next. If my family trashed my house like that, oh boy, they would see me in court. Absolutely. They would absolutely see me in court. Who does that? Like, for real, who the fuck does that? That's supposed to be your family. Why would you do something like that? Why? It's fucking crazy. That's the house he used to live in, the ranch he called. His family lived there and did that. Yep. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. So, okay. So those are the things that I wanted to say about that. And next on the agenda, we got 20 minutes before Banfield. The Aiden Fucci trial is starting next week. I will be covering it. If you don't know the case, that is the case of a 16-year-old boy who, I was going to say 14, but a 16-year-old boy who absolutely stabbed this girl, a fellow classmate, 114 fucking times. How do you stab somebody 114 fucking times? Please tell me. 114 times he stabbed her. And he had bloody clothes. His mom knew about it. She's not arrested, but his mom knew about it. It's going to be an intense case. Oh, I don't know, Max. That part I don't know. Yeah. Is anyone not familiar with the case? Hey, Dylan. Where have you been? So you guys aren't familiar with the case? Thank you, K-Rox. Once you see him, you might be more familiar with it.
It was at the time of the crime. And from the evidence you have, they know that she may have done that? Florida, which is just south of Jacksonville. And it concerns 16-year-old Aiden Fucci, who is charged.
You a boss and I conclude that. Super chat, who is that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
With first-degree murder for killing 13-year-old Tristan Bailey back on May 9th, 2021. Fucci was just 14 years old at the time of the crime, and he spent time in a juvenile detention center before he was eventually moved to an adult prison. Got to give you the backstory here. So Tristan Bailey, Aiden Fucci, they went to school together at Patriot Oaks Academy. Both lived in an upper middle-class neighborhood, pretty much had zero crime. But then we go to Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021. Bailey goes missing. Her mother reports her missing. The police immediately respond. They put out an alert. The community stepped in to search. People put up flyers. They had huge search parties.
Yeah, I spoke about this case when it first happened. I knew a lot of people would remember it once I saw a picture. I just didn't have time to put it all together. So then I found this video. I'm like, this will explain it better.
To look for her, trying to find her in any way possible, because we know that the first hours, the first few days are the most critical. And as police investigated, they found footage on a neighbor's security camera. And that footage is so crucial. In that footage, it purportedly shows Bailey and Fucci walking together on the sidewalk on May 9th at 1:15 a.m. They're just walking toward a wooded area of the neighborhood. Nothing really out of the ordinary as you watch it. But then it was revealed that the two were friends and that they had been hanging out several times a week. But here is where things take an extremely eerie turn. Nothing is caught on that same camera until a little over 2 hours later, when the video seemingly shows just Fucci, not Bailey, Fucci walking back home alone. Now, as you can imagine, after watching the footage, police immediately took Fucci in for questioning. And while he's in the back of the police car, this is where things take another strange turn. Fucci takes out his phone and he proceeds to take a Snapchat of himself with the caption, quote, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristan lately?" And if that wasn't enough, he proceeds to take a video as well.
We're having fun in a cop car.
Yep. Tristan.
What's up, guys?
Yep.
Tristan, if you walk out the damn, it's in a cop car, cuz. Tripping, dude.
Now, of course, just like any other gossip in any other high school that would operate, you can imagine what happened next. The Snapchat of Fucci gets shared with pretty much the whole school.
Thank you, Alexis.
After all of this, Fucci's younger cousin was questioned by the police, and when investigators asked her about any bad behavior.
Super chat, who is that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
From Fucci, she stated that he once told her that he might go to jail sometime in his life. Now, back in the squad car, Fucci's demeanor kind of changed. He spent time in the back seat, and reports are that he became upset and said, quote, "I'm going to get arrested for this BS." Now, here's something to note. Now, one of the initial stories that Fucci told investigators is that he and Tristan were walking. She grabbed his privates. He pushed her, and she was struck in her head. And he says that he was dizzy from smoking pot earlier, and he just left her there and, quote, walked around alone for a while. Fucci also told the detective that Tristan could have been involved with a drug dealer who's in his 20s, that she talks to him through social media, maybe trying to signify something could be there. But in the end, is this BS, like Mr. Fucci claims? Well, now let's get into the forensics. So investigators search his bedroom. And what do they find in his bedroom? They find blood on some pieces of his clothing. And the blood was later tested and came up positive as Bailey's blood. And then, after 16 hours of her disappearing, Bailey's body is found. She is found less than a half a mile away from Fucci's home. Horrible, horrible situation of a 13-year-old girl stabbed to death. And I'm going to get back to that in a minute. But let's go back to that surveillance footage, because investigators asked Fucci why it took him so long to go home. He said he walked around and had to clear his head, like I mentioned. But if you look closely at the surveillance footage, you can also see that he walks up to his front door, seemingly holding something in his hands. Something, not entirely sure what that could be. Well, let's talk about the murder weapon. Well, during the investigation, the police searched the lake, which was right near where Bailey's body was found, and they find a folding button knife. How do we know that this is the weapon in question? Well, first of all, half the blade was missing, and the other half was found lodged in Bailey's skull. But not only that, Fucci's girlfriend reported that Fucci showed her his knife all the time and that he often carried a knife around with him. So you have video, testimonial, forensic evidence. It's already strong against Fucci, but that's not all. Fucci's friends come out, and they say something absolutely critical in an affidavit. Quote, "Within the last several weeks, the defendant advised he was going to kill someone, and the witness should expect it to happen within the month." The witness goes on to say, quote, "If he were to kill someone, it was going to be planned. He would find a random person walking at night, drag them into the woods, and stab them." These are the alleged words of Mr. Fucci. Well, ultimately, Fucci is arrested and charged with the first-degree murder of Tristan Bailey. He was then held in a juvenile detention center in St. Johns County. And here's his first court appearance, just less than 3 weeks after the killing.
So let me tell you what you are charged with. You have been indicted by the St. Johns County Grand Jury on the charge of first-degree premeditated murder. That is a capital felony that is normally punishable by up to death or life imprisonment. In your case, because you are not yet 18 years old, death is not a possible sentence pursuant to the Florida and United States Supreme Courts, but this charge does carry a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. Do you understand the charge against you?
Yes, sir.
All right, there is probable cause to detain you on this charge pursuant to the indictment issued by the St. Johns County Grand Jury yesterday, as well as the arrest affidavit that I have previously reviewed. The indictment in capias that followed set your bond at none. Is the state still asking that he be held without bond? Mr. Lewis?
That is correct, Judge. The state's request is no bond.
All right, Ms. Peoples, do you want to be heard on that issue?
We'll address that issue at a later date, Your Honor, with appropriate motions and witnesses.
Okay, thank you. Having reviewed the appropriate paperwork, I will preliminarily make a determination that proof is evident.
Now, the real question lies, though. Here's the real question. Should a 14-year-old kid be sentenced to the rest of their life behind bars? Some people say yes, some people say no. We're talking 114 stab wounds. This wasn't a crime of passion. This wasn't something that, it was definitely something that could have been avoided. But should a 14-year-old be sentenced to jail for the rest of their life? It remains a big question. Thank you, Chrissy. That is a huge debate.
And a presumption is great, so you will be held without bond.
You a boss and I conclude that. Super chat, who is that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
And I agree with you. But a 14-year-old, yes, you know right from wrong, but your brain is not fully developed. And there have been studies that say a 14-year-old should not be in jail for the rest of their life. So it really is an interesting debate. Hey, Joy, long time no see.
Mr. Fucci, do you have any questions about these proceedings today?
No, sir.
Later on, he's released from juvenile detention. He's arrested as an adult. Now he's heading to trial next week, and he's being tried as an adult for first-degree murder. And if found guilty, he could face life in prison without the possibility of parole. Little side note here, the death penalty can't be considered because he was 14 when this killing took place. He was a juvenile. But the reason he's being tried as an adult is seemingly given the gravity of this crime. You see, he not only allegedly murdered her, but allegedly stabbed her 114 times. 114 times. 49 of the stab wounds were located on her hands, arms, legs. One meaning behind that could be possibly defensive wounds, something that you have to imagine is going to be explored by a prosecution medical examiner in an upcoming trial. And if you thought that that wasn't horrific, if you thought that this case wasn't bizarre enough, we now have to talk about Aiden Fucci's mother, Crystal Smith. So Aiden Fucci's mom is arrested on June 5th, 2021, just less than a month after the killings. Why? Well, she's arrested for tampering with evidence. She is accused of trying to clean Aiden's bloody clothes. How do they know that she may have done that? Well, Smith had security cameras installed in her home, and she's visibly seen going into Aiden's room, grabbing the bloody jeans and washing them. The blood on the jeans and in the sink tested positive for Bailey's blood. Now, I should tell you, she was released on $25,000 bail shortly after being booked into jail. But tampering with evidence is a third-degree felony in Florida. And Sheriff Robert Hardwick said that Crystal Smith will, quote, be held responsible for her role in this case. Now, the evidence seems to be overwhelming against Aiden Fucci that he murdered Tristan Bailey. So what is a trial going to look like? What could be a possible defense? What will even a jury look like? Well, to go over all this and discuss the details of the case, I'm joined by a very special guest. Criminal defense attorney Kathleen Bogenschutz is back with us here on Sidebar. Kathleen, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's first start with this possible insanity, maybe mental health defense. The reason I bring it up is there is one thing that might play a very important part, and that is Fucci's Zoom hearing from September 1st, 2021.
Oh, you demons. Oh, you demons take my soul. You demons will take my soul away. I don't let you demons steal my soul. I don't know what's going on. I've seen him. What's going on? What we got going on? Why am I here? I just want to talk to my mom and dad. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
What do you make of that? Because I'm torn. If I look at it, I'm thinking, is this someone malingering, maybe faking the symptoms to get an insanity type defense, or legitimate insanity? What's your take on it?
So as a defense attorney, I can tell you that the more time my clients that have some kind of mental health issue spend in custody, there tends to be some decompensating regarding their, mental health issues. Even people that are perfectly sane, you put them in the jail for a little bit.
Okay, my take on this, that's fucking bullshit, because the first hearing, he was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with him during the first hearing. Now, all of a sudden, the second hearing, he's all looking all over the place. I call total bullshit, 150% total bullshit.
And they can kind of get a little bit nutty, the same way pretty much all of us did during COVID, honestly, being stuck in our houses. But this is feigning some kind of, I don't know, that he's seeing things, hearing things, something like that.
You don't believe it. You don't believe it.
I think that we would have seen it before now. He's been in custody since basically the day after the incident. And it would have happened in court previously. There's also been multiple evaluations of this defendant by multiple forensic psychologists, psychiatrists, and to my knowledge, nobody's ever found him to be incompetent to stand trial. They've all found him to be incredibly manipulative and possibly a textbook psychopath, which kind of makes him a unicorn.
And I guess the question is, just going back to the illness, it doesn't matter what his mental state right now. It matters what his mental state was at the time of the crime. And from the evidence you have seen put forward by the prosecution, right? Am I on the right stage there? Because the way I'm looking at it from the prosecution, don't they have strong evidence that this was premeditated and he knew what he was doing was wrong?
Absolutely. So there's two different things that we're talking about. We're talking about an insanity defense, meaning I was insane at the time that I committed the crime, or he was, sorry. And then there's the competency to stand trial. And competency is a much more fluid thing. So someone can have mental health issues, but if they're on their medication and properly taken care of and properly advised, then they can be totally competent to stand trial, and off their meds they may not be. And that's something that can change over the course of time. Insanity is a snapshot at the time of the offense, right? So I don't know if he's trying to feign that he's incompetent to stand trial, or if he's trying to say he was insane at the time of the offense. Either way, I think it's hooey.
What about the idea of, he takes this Snapchat video in the back of a squad car. He, he has these satanic drawings found in his bedroom. It also makes me wonder, well, maybe there is something to mental health here.
Well, I mean,
Okay, being a Satanist doesn't mean that you have mental health issues. Let's just make that clear. Some people are Satanists that totally believe it. They're not mentally ill.
Granted, I'm only speaking from what I've read and what I've seen, not personal information, and I assume so are you. But the information that I have seen from his classmates, from people who knew him, from his little girlfriend at the time, that he was a quote unquote numb person, NUMB, that he just didn't have feelings, that he kind of fantasized about killing things, and just the amount of planning that you would have to put in here, because at the time he's 14, right? So he has to sneak out of his house. He has to lure Ms. Bailey to the place, and it sounds like he did, for him to bring a knife. And then it's incredibly difficult. It's terrible for me to say this, but it takes a lot out of you physically to stab somebody that many times. You would start getting tired after about 20. And he just kept going. He had enough anger to keep going.
Yeah, the 114 stab wounds. That's very important for the prosecution in establishing first-degree murder, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And even if he's trying to say there's some kind of self-defense or overreaction to the scene at the time, you would think that after 2 or 3, the threat would have been neutralized, at least to some extent. And just continuing to it, I mean, it recalls the title of a book that I believe it's a book that was written by a forensic psychologist, Murder, No Apparent Motive, meaning it seems like the murder itself was the motive, that he kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that is you can understand why he's being tried as an adult, given the graphic nature of this crime.
I didn't realize I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had that on mic, so it was probably echoing. So I apologize. But yeah, that is the case I will be covering starting Monday. I may do the trial. It depends if it's boring or not. If it's an exciting trial, then yes, I will be streaming it. If it's a boring trial, I will not waste my time streaming it. So, yeah. Because I do not like boring trials. You guys all know that. Hey, Johnny. All right, let's see what Banfield's got on tonight.
The Jubilee and sadly the Jubilee and sadly.
All right, it's not on yet. You agree what? Yeah, he's being tried as an adult. Which, I mean, is good. But I don't know. It's really debatable. Whether kids should be tried as an adult. And the best time to do a crime is before the age of 12. If you're going to kill someone, do it before the age of 12. Because after the age of 12, you are absolutely tried as an adult. Or you can be. Under the age of 12, you're not tried as an adult. So, I learned that. All right, Banfield, and then I'm getting out.
We would do a whole show based on like ear-splitting testimony from the Alec Murdaugh murder trial. And there's good stuff that came today in that courtroom. But instead, there is this crazy story in Dallas that I think is critical because while it's about monkeys, I smell a rat. So you've probably heard about the emperor tamarin monkeys, 2 of them that disappeared from the Dallas Zoo earlier this week. And then were found in an abandoned home in a closet, alive. Thank God, alive. But now there's an arrest. And the arrest is suspicious and it's curious. 24-year-old Davian Irvin, picked up by the Dallas police, hauled into the Dallas County Jail, and charged with 6 counts of animal cruelty. But why this guy? They had released a picture earlier on saying we want, to find this person potentially of interest. And the tips came in. But weirdly, where they found this guy was not near the Dallas Zoo. It was instead near the Dallas Aquarium. In the Dallas Aquarium, apparently an employee thought it was weird when this guy was asking him questions about an animal, and he recognized him from the pictures. So why I think this story is so strange is because the tamarin monkeys were not the first problem at the Dallas Zoo. Let me take you back to last month, just a few weeks ago. The Langer ape species enclosure is cut. They don't escape. 2 enclosures down, the clouded leopard is cut, and the leopard does get out. Luckily, they catch the leopard. 8 days after that, a vulture is found dead, not from natural causes, on the other side of the zoo. The feds joined the case. Is this a bigger ring? I want to bring in Caitlin Becker, senior reporter with thedailymail.com, and Jared Miller, zoologist and animal expert. Caitlin, let me ask you right off the bat, the reason I'm wondering if it's a bigger thing, not just because of the incidents that I just outlined at the Dallas Zoo, but 12 squirrel monkeys were also missing from the Louisiana Zoo. So now my spidey senses are tingling.
You and me both, Ashley. It's been almost a week since these 12 monkeys were basically abducted from that other zoo. And I'm not one to believe in coincidences. So you have 2 situations of monkeys being stolen from zoos in the South in the same week. That really does strike me as bizarre. And thankfully, these 2 were found and seem to be relatively unharmed. But it definitely piques my interest, particularly because, as you stated, the guy they arrested was found asking about an animal at the aquarium, and the security image that police had released from the zoo showed the guy there before. So it did kind of seem like this person was casing the place before allegedly stealing.
Okay, when Banfield has nothing left to talk about, she talks about missing animals. Okay.
A ring, if that's the allegation here, and I don't know that it is. Why would the vulture be dead? But then also, what is the value, say, of these tamarin monkeys and the 12 other, monkeys that were stolen or at least disappeared from Louisiana?
Well, good evening, Ashley. Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is very suspect. And again, one incident, and again, these instances with the millions of people that visit zoos annually, I mean, the probability of this stuff happening is extremely, extremely rare. So all of these connections that everyone's kind of suspecting could possibly lead to something. But to answer your question, yes, it's very suspect that, the death of an animal, which is very tragic, but when it comes to these primates being targeted, and again, not only at one facility, but a second one, both relatively close to each other, at least in the same part of the country, kind of leads you to think about, is there some kind of backstory or something a little bit larger going on where these primates might be in the form of, or being led up to being trafficked.
So that's the other question. The 6 counts of animal cruelty, Caitlin, I haven't seen a theft. I haven't seen any others, but I have also heard that the Dallas police have said there could be additional charges in this case.
That's exactly what I am anticipating. Based on what they said, more charges do seem like they're coming down the pipeline. It feels like the animal cruelty charges were the easiest ones to do because once they found the monkeys, that does sort of make sense there. And so I think beyond this further investigation, we're definitely going to be seeing more charges coming down the pipeline. And if there is a larger sort of conspiracy at hand here, it could be a question of asking this perpetrator, this alleged perpetrator, to maybe give them some more information before they would file these charges.
And this leads me, Jared, to the question, which I think everybody has, right? We're all just stunned by this weird series of events. Again, I listed it out. There was the Langer species. Somebody cut the hole, but they didn't get out. Then just 2 enclosures down, the clouded leopard. Somebody cut the hole and the leopard did get out. Then 8 days later, the vulture is dead. And then these tamarin monkeys are stolen. And then, of course, Louisiana. Are zoos, well, have they been and will they be a lot more vigilant right now about the potential of black market theft? And will they have more surveillance installed to try to figure this out?
Absolutely. I mean, both of these institutions are accredited zoos. And of all the zoos across the country, and especially the accredited ones,
All right, I'll be honest, I don't have much interest in missing monkeys. I really don't. I mean, I feel bad for the missing monkeys, but I really have no desire to watch about missing monkeys. Like, I could be working, not talking about missing monkeys. Not that it's not news, it's just not my thing. So, I may shut this down. Yeah, I don't have much desire to watch about missing monkeys. I thought she was going to talk about something good. So I guess I'm going to shut down and go to work. Change into my jammies and go to work. There's a spy balloon flying over the U.S. and this is what she's covering. See? That's what I'm saying. I don't have much desire to watch this. I do love you, Crystal. But flying monkeys? Stolen monkeys? Not working. You know what I mean? Thank you, Sherry Ann. And I don't have much to talk about. I got to get this website done, and I got to get candles done. But I did get 2 more scents in today. I got in more Love Spell, and I got in Artisan Bread. So, there's that. But, all right, I'm going to shut down. Talking about the Murdoch trial. All right, we'll see.
I didn't think this was going to happen, but out came a camo shotgun on the stand today. And I'm still trying to figure out why there's such drama in this, because they don't have the murder weapons, but they think they have the next best thing. Because what the prosecutors did today was they had Paul Greer get up on the stand, and he's with the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. And what he did was he held up the big camo shotgun, and his testimony effectively is not that, hey, this is the gun that killed Paul and Maggie Murdoch. His testimony instead is to try to get the jurors to understand without the murder weapon, we have the next best thing. We have casings on the ground, and casings on the ground at the scene where the bodies were found. Not only at a firing range on the Murdoch Ranch, but way over by where the bodies were found. And they're the same casings, fired from the same gun. Meaning, whatever gun that's now missing, whatever gun was used to kill Paul and Maggie, that gun was fired on that firing range before, because we found all the casings. And we did all our forensic testings, and by Jove, the same gun was used before on that ranch. Same gun that was used to kill Paul and Maggie. So Problem is, there's 2 guns that are missing from the arsenal that was seized from the Moselle Ranch, right, from the Murdoch Ranch. 2 AR-style rifles that had the 300 cartridges. So without that gun, is the jury going to be okay at making that leap? Will they?
Tori, that doesn't surprise me because I had said that Xana and Ethan were killed last. And if Xana was closest to the wall, then she was definitely killed last. And I only put that 2 and 2 together from Brian walking out of their room last. They were obviously killed last. So it really wasn't that much of a surprise. You're not convinced Brian's guilty? Ugh. You're not convinced Brian's guilty yet? Or Murdoch? Say hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. I need a bath because I stink. I need a bath. Mommy needs to give me a bath. Mommy needs to give me a bath. Oh, he's guilty as shit, Kendra. He is guilty, guilty, guilty. Yeah, we talked about it the other night. Even the way he acted after the fact, thank you, Stoned. Even how he acted after the fact makes me think he's guilty. What? Yeah. You gotta get that crap off your eye. Murdoch would have seen anyone drive up.
You a boss and I conclude that. Super chat, who is that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
He's mad. He's mad. You just need a bath. You just need a bath. Oh. Think you did if the evidence isn't convincing. Thank you, Corinne. What? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? You big goop eyeball? You big goopy eyeball? He loves me. What? Ugh. Ugh. Believe he's guilty. I believe he's guilty of other murders prior. Maybe. Who, Gator? Oh, Penelope? So, alright. I'm gonna work.
You a boss and I conclude that. Super chat, who is that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
What? What? He wasn't home when the housekeeper died. Yeah, he was. He was home when she died. Your stomach going crazy too? My baby. My baby. What? My baby boo. Alright. I'm going to get off because I really have work to do. And that's that. So, I will see you all tomorrow. My stomach's going nuts. I don't know why. But I will see you all tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I will be working on the website tonight yet again. So that's it. Wife and son. I thought he was home. I can't take the night off. I got to work on the website. So I keep getting new ideas. And that's why I'm like, fuck. So yeah. So, all right. I'm going to go change in my jammies. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night and peace out, bean sprouts. And thank you guys for super chats. Tomorrow we're gonna have a big night. Alright? Tomorrow we're gonna have a big night for super chats, big night for candles, and that's it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.